What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharp, and welcome to another edition of the Sharp Reality. As always, you guys can all follow me on Twitter at Donovan_Sharp. Be sure to head over to my website, donovansharp.com, for all podcast episodes. You can also find other content as well. You'll find links to other red pill sites such as The Rational Male, Illimitable Men. There's also a section on my website called Podpics where I've taken and posted various screenshots of women that I've talked to, women that I've tried to game, et cetera, et cetera. Some went, some of it goes well, some of it not so well. That's the game, but you guys get to sort of see. You guys get to sort of have a front row seat to that. There's also other stuff. If you guys ever want to get a hold of me, if you want to send me any show ideas, any questions, or anything, questions of that nature about girls, game, finance, fitness. I'm not an expert in any of that stuff, but I have a fair amount of experience, and I've been fairly successful financially, been very successful with women, been very successful with regards to fitness. So if you have any questions about that stuff, feel free to hit me anytime, guys. I'm always checking my emails. There are points during the week where I'm a little bit busier than others, but I do try to get to all of my Q&A that I get. If you want to support the show at no cost to you, go to the website again, donovansharp.com. On the right-hand side in the sidebar, you will see an Amazon affiliate link. Bookmark that link. Do all of your Amazon shopping through that link, and you will be supporting the show at absolutely no cost to you. And of course, you can always leave a little something in the tip jar. We certainly appreciate that. Okay, so on to the topic at hand. Every once in a while, I would say about maybe 3-4 times a month, I will go to ESPNW.com. Now, as you can all imagine, ESPNW is the ESPN site for women. They talk about women in sports, voices, lifestyle, culture. Quite literally, it's just a feminist site cloaked in sports narrative. There's all sorts of stuff on there, and a lot of times I get a lot of my material that I talk about from ESPNW. So as usual, I'm perusing, trying to find something to talk about, trying to find something to laugh at these chicks about. And I came across an article called How Erica Schenk Became a Hero to Runners Everywhere. Now, when I saw the title, I said, oh, okay, well, let's click on this and take a look. And to my delight, Erica Schenk is a fatty. A while back, I don't know if I saw it on Return of Kings or in the Rouge V forum. I can't remember exactly, but someone wrote a post about this particular fat chick. I think it might have been Rouge itself. I'll have to double check, but he had commented about that. Now, this particular magazine came out back in 2015, so she'd been on the cover for a while. I read the post, we kind of laughed at it, but again, I'm perusing on ESPNW and I see this article, so of course I had to take a look. So the article starts by trying to validate Erica's beauty by calling her a, quote, model since she was 14. It says, quote, the fact that she'd been a Wilhelmina model since the age of 14 wasn't the fun tidbit Erica Schenk decided to share with her Pepperdine University classmates at a back-to-school roundtable in August. So she wasn't fat when she was 14, guys. I guarantee it. But now she's a, quote, plus-size model. And you know what? It's funny. I don't know why we don't just call them fat models. I've never understood that. Guys, she's no longer a Wilhelmina model, or however the fuck you say that name, because she's fat, period. She used to be a model, which means she had some sort of beauty, but she got fat, so she's not. And I think now she's a plus-size model, which we all know is a good recipe for weight loss. If you want to develop an eating disorder, if you want to become bulimic, yeah, absolutely jerk off to models and obese porn. Anyway, further down in the article, it says it was an easy. Let me scroll down here because I've actually got it up here. You guys can go. You guys can go over and check it out anytime. But I'm just gonna summarize this for you guys. They said that it was an easy decision to put her on the cover. Now, they would like you to believe that it was an easy decision to put Miss Schenk on the cover because it's the right thing to do and she's big and beautiful and body positivity. But the only reason it was an easy decision for the editor at large is because it gets more eyeballs on the magazine by having the fattest person who's ever graced the cover of a runner's magazine. Guys, this was an easy decision because her cover photo brings out morbid curiosity. That's why I can promise you in that meeting room, they said, well, you know what? We can certainly promote body positivity, but worst case scenario, out of morbid curiosity, people are going to pick this up and see what this is all about. And I can guarantee you guys that most women, most fit women, most women who actually run, who actually saw the magazine, they laughed at the article because they know fat girls aren't runners. All right. And I'll get into more of that later. Later on down, of course, she's given the typical feminist fodder. She says, quote, runners are not all one size. To which I respond, no, they're not. They're not all one size, but they're all in great shape and none are fat. Look, just because you run occasionally doesn't make you a runner, which brings me to my next point. And I want you guys to really listen carefully. There is a difference between a runner and a person who simply runs. I'll make an analogy. Years ago, this was probably back in 05, 06. ESPN had a miniseries about poker when poker had just started becoming big. It was a miniseries called Tilt. It was actually a pretty good show. I used to watch it when I lived in Atlanta the first time. Anyway, I remember this guy was trying to hit on one of the main female characters. And she asks him, are you a card player? Oh, no, he tells her, well, hey, you should go out with me because I'm a card player. She says to him, no. You play cards. You're not a card player. That's the difference between people who run and runners. Again, just because you get out and run every once in a while, just because you run every couple of weeks, that doesn't make you a runner. And Erica Schenk's body type, you can obviously tell she does not run. As a matter of fact, hang on, let me share my screen with you guys. I'm going to show you guys what this chick looks like. Let's see here. Bear with me, guys. I'm still a little bit new at this, and I'll add more bells and whistles as we go along. But there is Erica Schenk right there. This is the woman. This is the first plus-size model who's ever graced the cover of a running magazine. So anyway, they go on to say further down in the article, this was funny. She says, some people look at me and say, you don't exercise. And then, of course, she says after that, I totally do. No, sweetheart, you don't. Because if you exercised, you wouldn't look like this. Further down, she says, running is not a means to an end. Guys, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys and say that I jump on my bike and I cycle 15 miles per day, or that I go to the weight room and lift weights for my health. Yes, being healthy and being in great shape and being able to do things is great. But guys, let's keep it real. I ride my bike and I lift weights because I want to get fucking laid. That's the means to an end. Dude, and listen, this isn't a gender specific thing. Men and women alike, we work out to increase our sexual options. There is nothing wrong with that. Ms. Schenk would have us believe that running is not a means to an end. So in other words, she means to tell us that she runs for the love of running. As you can tell here by her picture, she doesn't really do much running. Further down, she says, I'm still on the path to body acceptance. Blah, blah, blah. She says, quote, when I was younger, I was pudgy and short, had super thick glasses, blah, 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 blah. So when she says I'm still on the path to body acceptance, what she is really saying is I am ashamed that I am fat. This is what she's saying. She doesn't want to be fat. She wants to be thin. All fat girls want to be fit. Don't let them tell you any different. This is just more bullshit pandering. The last two parts of this particular article is where I struck solid gold. This is funny as shit. She says, quote, I never track my distance when I run. She continues. She says, how far I go each day depends so much on where I'm running, the weather, and how much sleep I got the night before. So I choose to just feel it out and see how my body is responding to the exercise I'm doing. I'll usually go out for an hour or two, and at least twice a week. So what she's saying is that she does not listen, guys. What she's telling us is she's trying to sort of operate in the margins. She can't be specific with how long she runs because she doesn't run any distances. Of course she doesn't. Of course she's going to tell us that she doesn't track how far she runs because she doesn't run very far. Because she's not a runner. You look at her, you say, look, bitch, you're fat. You're not a runner. You are a fat chick who runs occasionally. Then, earlier I mentioned the fact that she says it just depends on how she's feeling. So basically she'll run until she starts to get tired, which is probably right around the quarter-mile mark. And that's if she's lucky. The last part of the article, this made me laugh out loud. She says, quote, I'm not into racing, but I am doing my first 5K this fall. A 5K, listen, I'm no mathematician, but I think a 5K is a little over 3 miles. So you mean to tell me that this fat bitch who's on a running magazine has never run more than 3 miles? And of course, she's not going to tell us how long she runs because she doesn't really run that much. That's the point. Noticeably absent from the article, there's no mention whatsoever of her weight. Why? Because she's fat. And listen, if you're looking at the screen, she looks like she weighs over 2 bills, to be honest with you. Here's another picture of her. This is her running. Okay. Seriously, look at the, she's got the fucking rules here. She's got the double chin. And listen, she's unattractive. She's fat. She's overweight. She's not a runner. There's also no mention of diet. Why? Because her diet sucks. And how do we know her diet sucks? Because she's fat. Look, man, she can run all she wants, but if she's eating fried chicken and donuts for breakfast and then washing it all down with, 1,000-calorie Starbucks frappe, you're still going to be fat, just like this chick. This cover, this sends a bad message to women because women know that they have to put in the work to be fit. So they're going to see Erica Schenk on this cover and they'll think, well, shit, I can run all I want and I'll still be fat, so I may as well not run and stay fat. They know that in order to be in great shape, listen, guys, they know they have to do a shitload of cardio. They have to do resistance training. They got to eat clean. But they're going to use a fatty run a 5K as their excuse as to why they'll never be fit. Oh, I'll never be fit. Did you see Erica Schenk? She's a runner and she's not thin, so I'm just going to stay fat. Erica Schenk isn't a runner, guys. She is simply a fat chick who lucked out and got lucky. She happened to be spotted by a running magazine who decided to put her on the cover to make headlines and sell a few more magazines. That's it. That's what this comes down to. This is what female runners are supposed to look like. This is what they look like. Not that. Runner, fatty. Runner, fat chick who runs. That's how it goes. Okay, let's get to the comments here. My man, Black Mystic Speaks is in the house. He says, if you're fat, and run, you won't have knees. Yeah, man, running is hard on the knees, man. I found that out the hard way when I was in my 20s. That's why I ride my bike now. Because running's hard on the knees, and I can't imagine. No wonder this chick is doing her first 5K. She's probably fucking bone on bone right now. Donnell says, if fat girls were runners, they wouldn't be fat, right? Which is the whole point of this particular podcast episode. D. Franklin 34 says, some people look at me and say, you don't exercise. I totally do. He says, then bitch, you're not eating right. Yes, that's just it. And listen, man, some girls do, and girls, it's funny. They are they keep things highly ambiguous. So if someone says you don't exercise, they'll say, yeah, I totally do. Okay, so she lives on the second floor of an apartment building and she goes up the stairs. She considers that to be exercise. This is how women work. So you can tell a girl you don't exercise. Of course, I totally do. And she will believe the lie that she creates for herself. Let's see here. D. Franklin 34 says, again, no longer can we point out the elephant in the room without being criticized. You're right, but I don't give a fuck. I just don't give a shit. This kind of stuff, man, this kind of stuff is the reason why. This is why women aren't getting into shape, because I can't remember a time. I'm 39 years old, man. I'll be 40 this summer. I cannot remember a time when fat chicks have gotten so much attention. You've got this fake wannabe Ashley Graham who looks pretty in the face, And Ashley Graham is, I guess she's the holy grail of plus size models because she has a pretty face. Trust and believe she would rather be thinner. And then of course Tess Holliday, who's oh my God, she's she's an abomination. And I can't believe, I mean, she just had a baby. Who in the fuck put a baby in Tess Holliday? I could just never remember. I can't remember a time when fat chicks have gotten so much positive attention. And the thing is these chicks aren't going to get fit because at the end of the day, girls want attention. Well, attention and sexual desire are two very different things. Yeah, a girl can get all the attention she wants, but I can guarantee you Erica Schenk has not gotten any dick as a result of her being on the women's running cover. That I can guarantee. Ashley Graham, okay, you know, I mean, maybe she has a boyfriend because she looks half decent, but the fact of the matter is that she doesn't have nearly as many options as the 300th ranked model in the world. That's just how it is. Howard Rourke says bike riding is much better, but you have to find some hills to make it worth it. Yeah, I live in Reno, Nevada, and it is oh my God, it's 4,500 feet above sea level. So my lungs definitely get a workout. There aren't too many hills like when you go from Reno to Sparks, you cross over the Truckee River, and at every juncture where you cross over the Truckee River, there's a bridge, and that's a little bit of uphill. But the elevation and the wind out here is ferocious. Listen, not 1 hour ago, I went on a 19. I didn't quite reach 20. I went on almost a 20-mile bike ride, and a little under half of that was directly into the wind. The part of town I live in, the wind always blows in the opposite direction. So when I'm heading home after I go on the routes that I go, that makes for some challenging rides. But yeah, definitely good to point out on that. I mean, I've had knee problems forever, so biking definitely helps me out here. Logic Win says someone impregnated Tess Holliday. What world am I living in? I'll tell you what world you're living in. Logic Wind, you're living in the West, man. This is how it is. Like, I will never understand this. Maybe I'm missing something here. I can't imagine. And here's the thing. Maybe you guys can Google this for me and maybe send it in. Who is the baby daddy for Tess Holliday? Like, I want to see the guy that fucked Tess Holliday. I want to see the guy who thought Tess Holliday was attractive enough to have unprotected sex with. I want to see what this guy looks like, because I can promise you he's not a man of value. He's probably just an average-looking dude who wanted a little bit of status and decided to jump on the gravy train. Well, guys, that concludes this edition of The Sharp Reality. Thank you all for listening. Again, go to donovansharp.com anytime for all podcast episodes. Visit at some point this week my latest post for Return of Kings. I haven't written for ROK in quite a while because I've been busy launching this stuff. I've got other things going on, other projects I'm working on. But I'm going to be penning an article. An article is going to be publishing on Return of King here within the next week or so about Aaron Hernandez and what the media is not telling you about the Aaron Hernandez tragedy. You definitely want to check that out. Go to returnofkings.com. Just do a search for Donovan Sharp. You'll find my archive there. Definitely go to illimitablemen.com. Me and he and I are simpatico and all that stuff. Check out therationalmail.com. He's rock solid as well. He also lives here in Reno. I got to get up with him at some point in time. Again, guys, go to donovansharp.com anytime. If you have any questions, comments, anything on your mind, go to the contact tab. Be sure to click on that Amazon link. Save that Amazon affiliate link. Do all your Amazon shopping through that link. And of course, you can always leave a little something in the tip jar. Thanks a lot for listening, guys. We'll talk to you next time.